Hi, friends. We are going to talk about a very interesting topic today, which is taking the data from Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations to Power BI based out of Microsoft Fabric. We already are aware that there are already, much described processes for this. Say, for example, making use of an Azure Synapse pool and taking it through Dynamics 365 data batch jobs into Microsoft Azure SQL servers and then leveraging connectors, Synapse connectors to Microsoft Fabric. That is one way. Another way is to make use of there is already a link present in Dataverse, which is known as export to Power BI, export to Microsoft Fabric. This link is already there, whereby you can just click on this link and it's going to estimate the capacity that is present in your Microsoft Fabric. It does a lot of validation, and then eventually you'd be able to export your data periodically from Fabric to Power BI. So that is there. This processes you are already aware of. Today we are going to show you another process which is very easy and yet another way to export Dynamics 365 to Power BI. The first two processes make use of a lot of dependencies. Say, for example, you have to make use of the Azure Synapse pool, or you have to make use of BYOD, which are in some course of time are going to be discarded or going to be deprecated. But this process is free and it's pretty straightforward, and you can directly make use of Microsoft F&O connectors to connect from a new OData entity data to Power BI. OData data entities, you can export them to Power BI by making use of Microsoft connectors. And this video is absolutely targeting that. So watch out for more. So let me start from my Microsoft Fabric home page. So this is the by default landing page that you see here, and I can change my experience from here to Power BI or to databases or to Data Factory or data engineering. For our today's demo, I'm going to shift this experience to data engineering. So when I'm coming to data engineering, there are some workspaces which I've already created. And you know what are workspaces? Workspaces are more like departments. Say, for example, I have my finance department, I have my travel desk department, I have my admin department, I have my procurement department. So these are various departments which I can create beforehand, and I can focus my data to that department. Say, for example, the people from finance department are not going to see the department's travel desk data, and or from my procurements and sourcings data I won't be able to see from sales and marketing department. So like that, I can create my workspaces like that, and each workspaces in turn could be segregated into sub workspaces or subdomains, or one domain or more than one domains. So this like this there are various theories and various principles that are associated with Microsoft Fabric. So I am just going to take you to one of my existing workspaces, and I'm just taking here, say, for example, to this workspace, and this is already my workspace, and I can already create a new lake house inside. So I can create from my new item, and I can go all the way down to my below, and there is a lake house creation option out here. If I'm not able to find where is my lake house option, I can simply filter by type lake house. Like this, the lake house guy is there, and I'm clicking this lake house, and I'm giving a name like this, like I'm giving the name like FinOps, and I'm just creating this guy, and it is going to show me like this. It has created. So once the lake house gets created, so this is the by default view, that is I'm going to see like that the tables and there are the files. So I can load data into tables, and I can load data into files, and from there I can take it forth. So the tables, for example, I can get the data from Dynamics 365 by using get data, and for this I'm basically using new data pipeline option. So I'm creating a new data pipeline, and I'm giving convenient name out here. Say for example, I'm giving a name like I'm taking cust transaction, or say for example I'm going to take the customers data out here. So I'm going to take the customers, and all the way I'm going to create it. It's going to take a while to get the pipeline ready for me. So once the pipeline is ready, it is going to give me the option like where you want to get the data of this pipeline. Okay, so there are a lot of sources from where I can fetch the data. I can fetch the data from SQL Server database. I can fetch the data from Dataverse. I can fetch the data from SharePoint online list. So many options are there already. So I will type here AX, and I'm having DynamicsAx connector here. So I'm keeping the DynamicsAx connector, and what I will do is that I will give the data link out here. So what is my data link? My data link is nothing but this link, which I'm copying and pasting it here. Okay, so here is my data link. I'm keeping the link out here with the slash data. This should be there, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so when I say that, it is asking like, do you want to use a new connection or you want to go ahead with an existing connection? So I can create a new connection like this, where I can give a convenient name, say for example FinOps customers, and then I am selecting here data gateway. I'm keeping it as none, and the authentication kind I'm keeping it as a service principal. So when I'm saying that, I need to fill up the tenant ID, the client ID, and the service principal key. So when you do that, this next is going to get enabled. This button is going to get enabled. And in no time, I am ready with my connection credentials, and I'm going to my next page. So when I'm going to my next page, it is going to take a while to validate if the connection is correct, if I'm having proper access to my target ERP instance, target F&O instance, or if my all my credentials are correct, and all these validations it's going to do, and it's going to load me up with a list of tables that are part of my Dynamics 365. What do I mean by list of tables? Is nothing but the list of the OData entities that are made as public, and that all these lists are going to be listed out here. So this is how my screen should look like with all the entities that are available here. So I can select one or more than one entities, okay, depending on my requirement, or I can go straight to a query. So I can select a table from here what I need to query on. Say for example, I can query my customers data, okay, or I can write a query out here. For our example, let me go here straight to my customers, and I can select customers v3, which is the latest OData entity version that is there. So when I select this, it is going to take some more time to load all the records that are present in my customers v3 entity. So I can wait here to get the view loaded, okay, or I can go to my next jump to my next screen directly out here. So let me go to my next screen, and first of all, it's asking like, where do you want this data to be dumped, into the tables or into the files? So for our examples purpose, I am basically taking it as tables, and to loading a new table, which is my customer v3. Let us keep the name as customer v3, and it is going to take some while to load the list of all the entities that are present out here. And this is how my screen looks like once all the fields got loaded. So here you need to be a bit cautious. Say for example, there are so many fields. If I select the source out here, so all the check boxes are going to be checked out. The thing is, like, if I select all the fields out here, so many fields would be there which are they don't have a corresponding mapping field out there in my fabric. So this is known as the date time offset, but I don't have a matching field type here in my fabric. So for that, you have to select, you have to make your own choice. Say for example, I can have this saved as a string data type. I can, so whatever dates are there, date time offsets are there, they can be saved as a string date type. And when I'm going to create a report out of it, or I'm going to do further data manipulations, I can automatically manipulate the data from string to date, because if I select date type offset to date, it won't accept that directly. So here you have to make the choice. And in the next screen, it gives me a summarization of my data sources selected from Dynamics 365. The data is going to be sitting in my Microsoft Fabric's Lakehouse table. So this is how it should look like. And so the name of the table that is going to be created is customers v3, and the connection name is this. Like this, it is basically saving the data. And there is an option like I can select the start data transfer immediately, or I can take this off. I can make this happen through some kind of a recurrence. So if I say that and save the run, it is going to create the the copy activity of my pipeline like this, and it is saving the data. So when I save the data, I can see like basically I can go to view run history, and I can see like basically this has been queued, and I can go to my monitor and I can see that the data transfer has not started yet and has been queued. So it will take a while to start the data transfer, after which it is going to change the status as in progress, and once the data transfer is completed, it will turn as succeeded. So we can keep on refreshing the button again and again. And like I said, like it is basically if I refresh this, it is saying as after a while the status has succeeded. So if we go back to our Lakehouse, so Lakehouse, we will go and we'll see like the tables, it's still showing as blank. Why? Because we need to do a refresh activity out here. So if we do a refresh, it will show me as undefined. So here again we'll do a refresh, and we'll see like it is going to show you as customer v3, the table that it promised it's going to create for you with all the data that is basically present out here. So if I click on this data, just not the it's also going to show you the columns names that you have chosen while creating the data connection, while filling the maps. And this is how the data should look like. So from here, it is loading the preview, and it is for now showing 32 rows, because that's how the bare minimum preview is there. And I can, once this is ready, what I can do is that I can change my Lakehouse view from here to SQL Analytics endpoint, whereby it will enable me to create views out of it. It will enable me to write SQL queries out of it, and eventually I'll be able to expose them as reports, Power BI reports. So I'm selecting my SQL Analytics endpoint here, and it's going to take a couple of moments to transfer the switch between the views. From here, if I expand this, so it is loading. So it's loading, and it's taking me here as a customer v3. So here I can create my own views, I can write my own SQL queries, I can write even my stored procedure, UDF, user defined functions as well. So for say for example, I can say straightforward go to a view, and I can create a view out here. And also once this is ready, I can switch on to my reporting tab, and I can click on automatically update semantic model. It is basically going to give you this prompt like this. This one new table has been added to the semantics model. It's going to refresh the model update. Okay, so once this is ready, I can create new report out of it. So I am just clicking on my new report, and it is going to take me to the Power BI report creating option from here. I'm just going to select all the necessary fields that are required for me. See, for example, I can select my customer number, I can select my customer name, I can select my address. Like that, I can click on select. I can search for customer uh, number, or customer account, whatever the name is. Customer account, I can select. I can select the name of the customer. The customer name alias is there, and say for example I'm selecting the customer name alias. I can select the customer groups. Group ID is there. I can select an address is there. Address street, address deed street, address pin code. I can select location ID. I can select all these details, and sorry, so let me select zip code. So all these details I can select, and I can eventually update my look and feel. So for now, basically this is the by default. This is how the view should looks like. I can expand the view, and it's pretty straight and pretty cool. Like I can change between the look and feel from bar chart. I can select into any convenient look and feel I want to create here. I can go to my do not chart. I can go between my pie chart. I can select any kind of ribbon chart, anything I want to see the data. It's going to present to me without writing any code, without needing to write anything. It is readily available. So it's a nice tool. It's a nice hack which is there. You can save the data, you can pin it to dashboard, and you can pin it to your your lake house or your warehouse. Also you can do anything that you want to do here. And so it is very straightforward, just connecting with your F&O data by exposing your core data entities. You can fetch the data from FinOps into Microsoft Fabric and play with it as how you want to play. So with that, I'm just calling it a day, and I'm going to come back very soon with one more topic on this. So till then, wishing you a happy new year, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye bye and namaste.